Looks to me like we are live now, Youssef. We're live on Twitch. Did you tell all your friends to come
I did, I
watch?
did. I told a few friends to come in. Hopefully
Hopefully,
they show up.
some
Maybe we can shout
some
them out when we see them
supportive.
in chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout them out right now. I'm gonna say, "Welcome, Youssef's friends." Great. Hey, there's Mark. Mark, hello, Mark.
Oh
I hope you.
yeah,
If
Mark,
you're friends with
Mark.
Yusuf, I'm glad you're here. If you're not yet friends with Yusuf, I hope you become friends. That's what I will say.
I feel like this is
Um,
gonna be the Yusuf plug show.
the Yusuf Plug Show. All right, now Yusuf. Before we go too far, do you want me? You can see the title now. Do you want me not to make it say the Yusuf Show? Does that feel like too
It
much pressure?
it's okay. It's okay.
All right, great.
I
So
think it's fine. I think we can just dive into the show. I think Django and what we're gonna be talking about today will take over.
great. Um, so, well then, I know people are maybe more used to seeing me on here than you, but like we were talking about a little bit before we went live, Yusuf has been a guest on our tech topical show before. I feel like it was about a month ago where you and we were talking about blockchain, um, and Yusuf is back. Yusuf got that Twitch bug, got that streaming bug. So we're here today to do a pilot episode so that we can talk a little bit and give Yusuf a trial run to see what kind of show we want to make. Title, like a formal title TBD. I still vote for the Yusuf show. But if you're here in chat, again, this is a pilot episode. Feedback super welcome. I know Yusuf's goal is to bore you to death. So if you're feeling bored, make sure to give us a 10 out of 10 so that we can keep doing the same boring content. But if you want us to do something else, give us like a low score, like a 1 or something to get our attention. That's what I'll say. But yeah, I'm going to
Feedback
stop
is
talking now and I'm going to hand it over to you, Yusuf, so you can say a little bit more about, first of all, who are you? What is your vision maybe for this show? What are we going to talk about a little bit today? And while you do that, I'm going to do some live editing and I'm going to put our names up on the screen. How's that sound?
Sounds great. Sounds
Great.
great.
Awesome.
First of all, thank you again, Jordan, for having me. Yeah, it was about over a little bit a month ago where we did talk about Bitcoin. I honestly did have a blast. I'm excited to be back on Twitch. And yeah, hopefully I do not bore you, but feedback is definitely appreciated. So please let me know how you think about our show and what we should be like doing moving forward, etc. I think one of my major goals for this show is to honestly show you how simple coding is. One of the things that we're going to be talking about today is Django. And Django is a very powerful Python web framework that I've been studying for, the past 2 years here at Make School. I am a backend concentration, so this is something that I like to think I specialize in. But I always know that I can always learn more, and it's a very complex yet simple framework. So there's always something to learn. Um, I know Jordan. Me and her talked about this earlier. She's not too familiar with he's not too familiar with Django, so I'm hopefully gonna we're hopefully gonna work together, and hopefully I can impress you about Django.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is one of my favorite things about being at Make School is just tricking all of the students into teaching me things. Um, so yeah, does it make sense? Let's see. I'm trying to get our names on here. Does it make sense now to share the screen? Is that where we're at? Do we want to give
Go
me?
right
Do you want
ahead.
to give me a little overview of Django?
Sure.
Awesome.
So we feel free to share the screen if you'd like. I'm happy to also share this link with you. I'm not able to comment it in the chat if people would like to follow along. But pretty much what we're going to be talking about is what is the Django framework, why do we use it, and what can we do with Django. And we'll also mention some of the top tech companies today that are relying on Django. First of all, Django is an open source framework, so it's free to use. It's constantly being updated thanks to, I believe it's like the open source team or network in the community, and they constantly maintain Django for us. And pretty much what it is, it's a Python based framework that allows you to simply code your backend for web applications, etc. You can diving into a little bit too about what you can build or what you can rely on for. Um, in our article, if you scroll down, it can you can build it for financial platforms. You can build it for a CRM system. CRM is a customer relationship management system. You can build it for high load booking engines and shopping platforms.
So
So if
Yusuf,
you're looking to make like,
since I'm not currently
go
looking
ahead.
to build a high, low end, multifaceted backend platform shopping thing, what's the simplest, like the stupid simple version of Django, like for a beginner? Like, what's on the beginner side? Because it sounds like it goes all the way over to the super advanced side. But is Django too powerful for something, or is it also a good fit for really basic things? What if I just have a portfolio website? Is Django right for me?
That's actually one of the beauty about it is that it's so simple to start that it can cover all the small projects that you like to tackle, like a portfolio, like a little website that shows gifts, simple starter projects if you just want to get your hands dirty with Django. And the cool thing about it, it has a lot of built-in, um, I guess, power-ups you can say, that allow you to easily achieve those goals with not a lot of code or not a lot of experience.
I like the word power up. That
Yeah,
makes me
hopefully
feel
today.
powerful. What does a power up mean? Like, do you mean like extra functions that make things easy, or are you talking about like things that you buy to make the service better? What kind of power ups are we talking about?
That's a great question. One of the biggest power-ups that I love about Django that's built in for free, no extra cost, and there is little to no code that you have to write, is an admin interface. For example, let's say I'm making my portfolio website, right?
Mm-hmm.
And instead of always changing my source code when I want to add a new project that I've made or that I've been working on, or if I simply want to edit it, right? I can go to the admin interface, and if we're sharing my screen, they give you a little preview of the admin interface right over here, and it will simply allow you to edit um, your site without having to edit your source code. And it's a easy, simple UI that Django gives you for free without having to code it. So there's no front end over here that you coded. There's little to like maybe one or two lines of back end code that you have to write, but they give you all of this built in for free.
Okay.
And hopefully today, if we have time, if not, we can definitely save it for another episode if that's something that you're interested in. I would love to show you how to set up a Django project and set up your admin interface. Be
Yeah, I
able to
mean,
interact with it and see
I
see
think that's
yourself.
a great thing. Are there, well, here's a question. So, uh, you're advocating for Django. Are there already a lot of sort of like quick start guides? Does this website itself sort of take you from zero to hero? Or is this something where kind of like some hand holding required? Is there like an easy button version? Because again, just like new to it, I hear you talking about a lot of the powerful features, and as a beginner, that scares me.
You should not be scared.
Okay, don't be
This
scared.
this website that we're currently looking at right now is just simply of why we should use Django in the first place. I highly recommend, and something that Make School always teaches us, if you are learning a new framework or a new language, always go to their documentation page
Mm-hmm.
to check it out. And because they're the guys that develop it, they're going to tell you the best way to use it and the current or up-to-date way to use it. So if
Gotcha.
we jump over to
Is
just the Django,
is
go ahead.
Django Stars, is that the official website, or is this like a website made by other community members?
The Django Stars is a website that is maintained by other affiliates other than Django.
Hmm.
The website that Django hosts, I believe, is just simply called djangoproject.com.
Okay. So like
For all our viewers.
project.com, like that. In
Yeah.
chat.
And if we head over to the documentation,
Hey
they
Yusuf,
have
Yusuf,
a
can you
tutorial. Yeah.
Yusuf, let's give you the power to share links in channel. Can you just say something in chat on Twitch, and then I'll make you a moderator, and you'll have the link powers.
Sure. The thing is, I'm doing it off of my phone,
Doesn't matter.
not the laptop.
As long as you're logged in. I just need to get your account name.
Sure.
So, just remember, audience, you don't have to know what you're doing to be a streamer on Twitch. You can make it up as you go. That's what we're doing. Minimum viable product. I'm sure Yusuf can talk a lot more about what that means. Hashtag ship it. These are also things that are... don't let your perfectionism get in the way. What'd you say, Yusuf?
Do you mind if I just Slack it to you?
You can do that.
This one time.
Are you shy? You don't want to say something in the Twitch chat?
No, it's I don't know, my phone is not liking this.
Gotcha.
I think I need to download the Twitch app for it to be a little bit better in terms of responsiveness.
Gotcha. Oh, I see. You're sending me the link. Okay, great. So here's a link to the documentation.
Sweet. And the documentation, we'll go over this tutorial that it's a web server for polls. That's I guess, their theme in the tutorial.
For
but it'll
polls?
show you how to, sorry?
Web server for what? Polish
people? For polls. No, like polls. Like if you wanted to take a poll
like a quiz.
of
yeah. Okay, a poll. Okay.
Like if who likes pizza, for example, and you keep track of people that like pizza. Just a very simple thing.
Okay, great.
And for the first time, so I'd click on installation if this is the first time you interacting with Django.
Can we do a plus on your browser text size just to make it a little bigger?
Yes.
Give us the old plus. And what's the command? What's the shortcut for that, Yusuf? I'm a big fan of teaching the world how to use keyboard shortcuts. Do you know the keyboard shortcut for it?
It's command plus.
Yep.
There's actually, if you love shortcuts, this is props to Make School for making us install this in our environmental setup. But there's an application called Cheat Sheet, where if you just hold down after installing it, you hold down your command button on any application that you're using. It'll give you all the list of shortcuts that you can do in that application.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool if you're learning new ones. So if we head over to the tutorial, this is a way to also install it through Python, right over here. Once it's installed, this is how you would create project. Okay. Once a project is created, it creates these files for you automatically. You don't have to do anything. It automatically sets you up with a manage.py.
Can you lean your head to the side, Yusuf? Can you see on the Twitch?
Yeah.
Lean your head to the side so we can see those file names. Otherwise.
Oh.
Sorry.
Am I in the way?
Yeah, it's
sorry.
part of my fancy layout where part of our heads are over the screen. So, you just need to lean to the side sometimes.
I'll go this way. There you go.
Great.
Sweet. Thanks for letting me know.
Yep.
And yeah, this manage py is how we're going to be starting our server. We don't really do anything in this file. But when we're running our server, we're going to be interacting with this file. And
Is
this is going to be where, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is this something? Can we like do this in 5 minutes on Replit or something? Like, we don't have
Definitely,
to because I don't know how long it's gonna take,
definitely.
and I
I
know the
don't,
live coding
no,
thing
no,
can
no,
be
no.
terrifying. But yeah, I just kind of
I
to get a sense of
don't
like
mind at all.
if it's like super quick and easy, if it's like one line of code, like let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let me get into the right folder. Oops.
Now you're not typing anything up here that's a secret, right? Should I hide your
Nope,
screen?
nope, 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 nope.
Okay,
You're good.
great.
You're good. And then we're
Just
just
using
gonna simply
typing in
copy.
Yusuf's master password is.
We're simply just gonna type in. So I already have Django installed in on my device.
Mhm.
Once you have Django installed, just simply run this command, and now it creates a file called my site. And as you can see, it
I don't.
installed or
We may not be
do
able
you
to
see?
see. Can you plus your terminal size? I think it requires a terminal reset. Oh, there we go. That works. Great.
Okay, sweet. So as you can see, it created I just simply ran Django admin start project. My site, I can name it anything I'd like, whatever project name you'd like to give it. And as you can see, it created a directory called my site. When you CD into it and look into that folder, you see that there's a manage PY and another folder called my site. And in that,
So, do we have a live website now? Is there a thing we can see, or is this still early phase?
there is. So if we do Python
See,
3,
I'm just jumping ahead of the next steps. That's what I'm doing. I'm the plant in the
uh,
audience. I don't actually know what's gonna happen next. I promise. I'm just asking Yusuf.
I think you just have good intuition.
I mean, I've done a few coding projects. That's true. Yeah, yeah. So Django to me, like, I usually get excited anytime something makes it like stupid easy for me to like. Great. Now there's the thing, and I just need to like modify some stuff. So that's usually what I'm after. I'm one of those engineers who's all up, not to make it like ugly or messy, but I'm a fan of like those quick and dirty solutions. Like, let's jump in and make stuff happen.
Trust me, I am the same way. I am the
Great.
same way. I love
So
it. I love
Django, it's for impatient developers.
it. And also, what's really nice about it is it also like constantly checks your project and lets you know how you can make it better. If there's anything wrong, it lets you know how to fix it. So as you can see, it immediately gave us a little warning when we ran our server. It says that we have 18 unapplied migrations, and they won't work properly until we do so. And it gives us the command right here to apply them. Right? So we can simply just Control C to quit our server, copy and paste that command. And because I'm running Python 3, I'm gonna have to put a 3 right here. Boom, it applied those. And as you can see, a lot of this built-in, like this is built-in stuff that Django is adding for you. One of them is being like sessions, admin, authentication. Okay, and if we run our server again, you see we don't get those warnings and our server is running. If we go to it, we don't have anything right now on our server. Let's see what it shows us. And it says that we still successfully installed it, right? And we're ready to code. We're ready to do what we need to do.
That's
You know.
usually the part that I'm ready for is the where do I code. Um, so
If you also
I
go ahead.
question for you, Yusuf, in your to take it a little bit more meta again. In thinking about what your stream is going to be as it grows, who is your audience? Are you targeting beginner, intermediate, advanced? Would you like me to ask you clarifying questions like what is a migration, or are we assuming that our audience here has medium level experience already? Do you want me to help us be as redundant as possible?
So I would for I guess let me put it this way. if you are a beginner and watching this show, if there's a word that I guess if it's the first time you hearing, or I guess you don't know what it means, I will go over the most important ones that you do need to know so that you are able to move forward. You know,
Hmm.
but if you don't know what a migration is, but you just simply know how to run the command, you're gonna be fine. But in terms of, I guess, if someone has coded before, this is not their first Django project. Um, you know, and yeah, you should know what a migration is, I guess. And it's just simply, for if you don't know, just quickly go over it. If you're changing over, and I don't want to get well, I guess this is going to lead us into our next topic of Django,
Hmm.
and that it's a model-based framework. And what I mean by model is, think of it as like a class. So when you're like
So
saving something
object
to your
oriented structure,
correct,
basically. Hmm.
correct, simply just like Python, how Python is built, uh, and how it's object oriented, like you said. So is Django, right? Going back to the tutorial, for example, if we go over to the next part, is that we're going to be creating a model, this object. In this case, for the tutorial, the object or the model that we're going to be creating is the poll. So anytime a user leaves a poll, they're going to be creating a new object, a new model, and it's going to have characteristics that we get to define in the model.
Hmm.
For example, a name, who wrote this poll, maybe a description. Maybe we want to do a create time, the date that it was created,
Hmm.
and we would define that in our model. So if we made a change to our model and we needed to update our server, we would have to then therefore make a migration.
Hmm.
But for someone starting off, it's not necessary to know.
Hmm.
And even for the most experienced ones, the beauty about Django, when we first ran our server, it'll also keep you updated with the things that you need to do to make sure that your project is, I guess, how it should be coded to the developer's intent when they develop Django.
Right. So
Does
sort of
that make
like
sense?
standard protocols and the way of using the framework.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. So,
Sweet.
okay, just to summarize, um, this show is not necessarily going to dive or like do. Not every episode is necessarily for beginners, but all topics are beginner friendly in the sense that there's some beginner version of it, but that people shouldn't stress about knowing or understanding every single word as they go. And I would say this is when I turn to the camera and I share a heartfelt moment and say, that's how all programming is. You should like never expect to understand all the words. And like maybe like Yusuf, you can maybe share a little bit more about like what your experience like that has been or maybe still is as, an experienced but still junior programmer. And when, Yusuf, do you expect to know all of programming? Tell me.
To be honest, I don't think I'm gonna know all of programming,
Hmm.
you know, ever.
Right.
I
So
just
it's
think you just
probably not
constantly
useful
progress.
to not useful to panic if you don't
Yeah,
know a word, right? Because somebody else will help you, right? Like it's a friendly coding world out there. Um, and if you don't know what a migration is, you can come ask us because we'll tell you.
what I can say is, and this is awesome that I'm able to be able to say this. I remember like day one of Make School, our very first project was Mad Libs. Mad Libs is pretty much like a little story where you give it a few words, and your Python script is supposed to jumble out a story. And I
Hmm.
remember first looking at that project like, oh my god, how am I going to be able to create a Mad Lib? And you get through it, you push through, and a year and a half into the program, I'm able to create servers that pull like satellite data, tell you, you know, the location of satellites. I was able to build a Spotify, I guess, social sharing like music network where you can pick what song your friends get to listen to. So the beauty about coding is that once you start, you just start learning all these new little tools and tricks. And when you stack them up and you put them on in the end, you can see something great, which is really cool.
Awesome. So, to sort of like follow up on that and tie it back into today's topic, how much experience do you have with Django specifically? Have you been using Django for some of those projects you just mentioned? Do you feel like you're an advanced Django user, or are you also still diving in to more knowledge there?
I would say I'm about like medium level. For our last intensive project, I used Django as my server for my React Native app that I built.
Mm-hmm.
And it simply what this Django server was in charge of doing was saving photos and then hosting them on the site so that, or hosting them at a URL so that my iOS app was able to fetch those photos from that URL and show them in the app.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that, I'm able to do now, but as a beginner, that's honestly something that is not too hard to get started with, just building a server that saves photos. And one of the cool things also about Django is that it has a built-in REST framework. So once you build your model, you can also include a built-in function that Django offers, which is a REST framework. So server, instead of always being live, I think I just lost an earpod. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was like the audio volume changed. Let's see, we back? Got your audio back?
Instead of having your server constantly running or trying to get pinged when it needs it or when someone is calling upon it, the cool thing about a REST framework, it's a little bit I guess less work on your server, less load, things like that. But here's a quick little tutorial as well to get you set up on doing a REST framework. And as you can see, we already did these parts right here. We just need to install a little pip package, which we can do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, would you like to see my intensive project that I've made?
I was about to ask.
I guess see a little finished.
Do you feel comfortable sharing
version?
your code? Let's do it. I would love to see it, especially
I do not.
If it's got a little bit of interactive fun we can see.
Yeah.
Is this a live website or is this a developer site on your computer?
So keep in mind, it is live on Heroku, mm-hmm. But do keep in mind that this was simply just for a React Native, React Native app. So there isn't a lot of front end to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, can we see?
But here, this is to run the server.
Oh, right, because you made an iOS app. We would have to put a little extra effort into screen sharing your mobile device to see it then, right?
Yeah. Gotcha. I am happy to share the Heroku. It's just not gonna mm-hmm. show us a lot. So let's just check this out. Oops. So over here, I have two ways to upload. I have a simple upload, which is just a simple function.
Can we make the text bigger, Youssef? It's
bigger?
Very small.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So simply over here, put in a description, and then we choose our file.
So you basically invented Dropbox. Is that?
That's funny that you mentioned Dropbox, because Dropbox is actually one of the biggest tech companies that relies on Django for their service.
I did not actually know that. That was not like any kind of like intentional plug. I'm just like, yeah, you're like, but I think that's the crazy thing, right? Is like most people think, wow, if I wanted to like create a thing that like I don't even like magic, like images live on the internet somewhere, but like you literally built it, and using Django, it actually doesn't take too much effort, right? You just three things: description, document, and then press upload. And then on the home page, that was a list of all the documents you've uploaded, right?
Exactly. And we click right here on one of the photos. And sorry, I'm
And it
like
takes us
zoomed
there.
into it a lot.
Gotcha. So like I can
And it
already
takes us there.
imagine
Uh,
that, you know, you could polish it. You could make a Dropbox clone, at least in a very simple sense, very easily, right? So like if you wanted that admin interface page to show a preview of the picture and like a nicer file name, like that's all just HTML, CSS. And once you've got the Django server running, right? If you've got those other skills, you're just putting the polish on your project, right?
exactly.
And
Exactly.
awesome. And so you just did all your polished version inside of your iOS app.
hmm hmm
Gotcha.
hmm And just to take a look at, I guess, the code, just to show you it's not much. This is, so right over here
Can
in
we bigger?
restaurants, we go to our model. Yeah, let's make it bigger.
Yep. Sorry, it's a constant thing. It's so much harder to see the text on the video afterwards if we don't make it ginormous.
No, no worries. No worries. So believe it or not, to be able to upload that photo or that image,
Three lines of code.
this is all it took for our model. Like you said, our description, the actual document, and the time that it uploaded at,
Mm-hmm.
right? And these models right here, it's all thank you to Django for their built-in power ups. I like that word, power up.
Yep.
And as you can see, like for example, this was just going to be a character field, right, for our description. This was going to be a file field, so Django knows to expect a file.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is going to be a date and time, right? And going to, I guess, to dive in a little bit deeper for our actual form, right over here, what do we want to show in our form? As you can see, the created time or the time that was uploaded at,
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to show that on the front end, so we're simply just going to leave that one out.
Gotcha.
And that's how simple it could be to code a model and code a form for that model, so that users are able to upload those. And if you
So
want to go ahead.
yeah, so I was gonna say, so general question to gauge the relative quickness of Django would be, how much time do you spend planning what your models will be versus implementing them?
I think that's a great question, and I would say look at the project that you're building. If you're going to be relying heavily on a like model based, or it's going to be a lot of back end heavy, take time to plan out your model and see how it's going to interact with your project. But if you're just starting off, um, you know, you could have a model up and running within a few hours,
Mm-hmm.
and everything would be okay. You won't even have to come back to it. you know it just really just depends on the project that you are planning to build or relying on Django for this React Native project that I did. It took me just a few hours to code it. I had a REST framework up and running, which I can show you right over here. I believe it's called Docs. And in a few
And
hours I
just to
was done.
clarify,
I
maybe
didn't
this is
need
one of the
to
maybe
interact
this is
with
one
it
of
anymore.
sorry. I was gonna say maybe this is one of those
No, go
like
ahead.
advanced versus beginner topics that maybe people are familiar with, maybe not. When you say REST, you're talking about the fact that you're basically building your own API, right? That you can access your own information.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So yes, yep.
It's a pop
Mhm.
quiz for people in Twitch chat. What does REST stand for? I'm not going to tell you. It's good to Google it. So practice that developer skill.
Or
It's
maybe let
not.
us know if you want us to make a video
Yeah,
about a REST framework and
yeah.
what that entails and the benefits of it.
I think you should just
Yeah.
make it, Yusuf. We don't need people to tell us what a good idea is. That's just a good idea. Um, so
I
I
love
see.
it.
I
I
see
love
we're
it.
at time, Yusuf. I don't know if you want to go like a little bit over. I don't know if you want to, do a little bit of a spiel for why should someone come back and check out like the Yusuf show or whatever the name becomes in the future. What can somebody expect when they see your beautiful face on the screen?
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. I mean, I think this is a good point to call it off. Um, and I hope you enjoyed us playing around with Django and starting off a simple project. If you'd like to see, more little projects being started in different frameworks and languages, or if there's, I guess, a language or a framework that you were hesitant to get your feet wet with, and you'd like us to do that and do that with you, please let us know. We're going to be back here again on Tuesday, hopefully talking about Node.js next time, or diving more into Django. Let us know. Let us know how what you thought and would you like to know more of. And yeah,
Awesome.
uh,
And I'm sharing here in the chat, of course, if you haven't joined our Discord yet. I was gonna say, Yusuf, are you gonna be free for a few minutes on Discord if anyone pops in there? You can also like share out any of the links or other resources about Django, so that if anyone hops in there, I think a good place to share out all of the Django links would be, let's see, maybe in, we'll just do it in our Twitch channel,
okay.
since that's where we are now. And then of course, anyone who's here, like once you're on the Discord, like you can just at Yusuf, harass him, hit him up with those Django questions. We have some code support channels, um, Discord ideas
Please
channels.
do. Please
Um,
do.
yeah, because I think to speak a little bit on Yusuf's behalf, just I know we're excited to create content, and I think that kind of my joke earlier, we don't actually want to bore you to death. So if you have ideas or you have requests or you have like certain coding challenges that you're working on, like that helps us know like what content we should be creating. What things should Yusuf be teaching himself so that he can teach the rest of us?
I love that. I love that. Yeah, please hit me up on Discord. If you see me on LinkedIn, also hit me up on LinkedIn. I love those Django questions. Feel free to connect with me with whatever way feels best for you.
Awesome. All right, Yusuf, do we want to
And
just
thank you again, Jordan, for having me.
yeah.
You're amazing co-host. I hope to have you on all our videos,
Hopefully not all of them. I want you to get like
if not most of them.
some other faces. People on the Twitch stream are gonna be tired of seeing my face. Um, but
I think they love it. I think
uh,
they love it.
maybe. Um, yeah, I'm excited to have more of Yusuf's face. That's hard to say. Tongue twister. Yusuf's face. Yeah, excited to help you grow your stream and develop into a beautiful coding stream butterfly. What do you say, Yusuf? Do we want to like gaze into the camera, direct eye contact, and some friendly waves? And thanks everyone for coming. And then in a few seconds, I'm gonna click end stream. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.